So let's just take some breaths together. Another one. Oh, how blessed we are to share this space and to feel that infinite light of God, that infinite light of pure love flowing through every particle of our being. The light is just pouring through this space right now. Just feeling it, opening, relaxing and opening the heart so that that light can flood through us and out, surrounding us, but also moving out into the world. We are one with all that is. And that oneness is pure, pure peace, infinite love, deep, abiding joy. And we are here as the purveyors of this love and this light. Mm-hmm. Right here. And every breath we take is a song into the universe for that peace and that love to prevail and to heal. So this service is divinely inspired, every aspect of it. The light is pouring through each person involved in this service. Rev Ann is blessed beyond measure and is the purveyor of the word that moves into our hearts and allows us to go forth from here and be that light. That is our responsibility and our honor. So in love and gratitude, I just accept this. I know it is true, and I'm so grateful to be here. And so it is.
And so it is.
Judy. Watch your step. Watch your step. Come here.
Oh, you want me up here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm up here.
So this divine being, for those of you who don't know, is Judy Blaze. Woo! And I had the great fortune of meeting Judy shortly after we first moved here, and in early 2015. And Judy is, the only reason that she didn't know Ernest Holmes was because she was busy then with other divine activities. Because she is teacher extraordinaire. She is the greatest of inspirations, and it was my pleasure to serve in her company as a practitioner when we were at the Santa Fe Center for Spiritual Living. Mm-hmm. And
oh my goodness, honey.
Judy and Samaya are now in Iowa for reasons that I will never fully.
Me neither.
And we're, even though we're honoring their choices, we are, I will just say, subtly doing our best to persuade them that this is really their home.
It is my home. Santa Fe is my home. And I came over that hill, Well, the very first time I came over the hill into Santa Fe, it was like, as you all probably do. And so every time I do. So it's the peace and the sky, the enormity, the expansiveness of the sky, the clarity of the air, and the beauty of the earth and the adobe just is. So I'll be back. I mean, and I can come back more often maybe.
Yes.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. You are. And we support that too.
Thank you. Thanks, sweetheart.
Good morning every day.
Good morning.
And you may wonder why I'm up here so early. Well, I want to tell you a story. When I first started speaking at Everyday Center for Spiritual Living as a guest speaker, I was there a couple of Sundays, and then one Sunday, Carol Rose, who conveniently isn't here today, said to me, you know, we really don't have anybody to MC or be the practitioner on duty today, so could you do that? And I said, sure. I've done all of those jobs before. So we have, of course, Rev Ann Rea as our practitioner today, and I so appreciate her open willingness to share the lectern with Judy as our surprise guest. At any rate, I'm going to show up a lot today, I'm just letting you know. So good morning and welcome to Everyday Center for Spiritual Living, where we empower each other to live joy-filled lives when?
Every day.
Every day. And in case you didn't already hear me say it, I'm Rev Ann Rea, and I'm a little beside myself today. I'm so excited. So, you know, just go with me. Just stay with me. It's all right. No harm will come to any animals. It's all going to be good. Please silence your cell phones if you haven't already. And if you are on Facebook, before you silence your cell phone, let people know where you are. Now, are there any first-time visitors? So we know that Judy is, and
Kevin Miller.
Kevin Miller,
Larry Israel.
Larry Israel, and they are our guest musicians today, along with our fabulous music director, Joseph Salick. Anyone online that's joining us for the very first time or hasn't been with us for a long time?
Just everybody, because we're new every day.
Wondering, if you stood up, it would be good.
Hi, Sarah Nicole.
Hello, I haven't been here in too long.
We agree, and we have missed you. And did you say there's someone new online?
I said just everyone since we're new every day.
That's right.
That's right. Okay, anybody have a birthday, an anniversary, something to celebrate, other than the fact that it's every day?
I do.
Great.
It's gonna sound weird that it's a celebration. I've had a lot of mice in my house, so I was getting very sick with it. Monday, I had the exterminator come, and of course, all I'm doing is having crying and tremors and all this other stuff. And by Wednesday, the property manager came, and of course, he was basically saying you're getting evicted. So, and I was trying to understand why, and apparently the problem, the things in my garage, that this is what they were using to evict me. And so I have stuff in my garage, okay? I can't get my car in. So the next, I text my landlord, says that tomorrow I will secure a storage unit. So Thursday I secured a storage unit, okay? Now, also Wednesday, I found these audio files that are specifically for trauma, because I've had PTSD most of my life. And I'm listening to them. I'm asking for angels. I'm asking for divine presence. I open my eyes. The room is filled with so much light. Everything is sparkling. And I was like, oh my God. And during the week, my younger son, who was actually had a doctor's appointment, and I was explaining during the week my physical symptoms. And he asked the doctor, and he says, well, you're probably having either TIA or mini strokes. And he said, well, I'm willing to pay a deductible, but I'm subject to bill pay. I don't really have insurance.
So let
Friday,
me catch people up for one second. Just
because then Friday is a miracle.
okay. So Shoshana is sharing with us that she's had a very difficult week. She's had a real mouse visit problem, and that the exterminator came, and then the landlord came and delivered the news that she was going to be evicted because of the stuff in her garage, which is stuff in her garage, you know. And Shoshana, in the meantime, has been trying to understand these symptoms she has started having with tremors and so on. And her son had a doctor's appointment and just asked him about them. And the doctor said, well, she could be having a TIA or a mini stroke. That's where we are so far.
And Friday, I had promised my family I would go for Medicaid application. So I do that. They can't answer my questions, they're so backlogged. And I was ready 10:30, and they have more people than they can handle for the rest of the day. And I know that near that is the medical assistance building. And I explained my situation. And I had somebody pre-approve me for Medicaid for 1 year.
Wow. You know, do you know what abracadabra means?
I was like, I sat in, you know, the cinema, and there's all those food stores and everything. I sat there for hours waiting for her phone call and just appreciating New Mexico and appreciating the blue skies and the trees, and I was listening to Abraham Hicks audiobook, and I just waited for the phone call.
And again?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Ask you again, do you know what abracadabra means? Abracadabra means, and it is done.
And so,
Thank you, Shoshana. Anyone else have a celebration, birthday, anniversary? No? Laurel? Granddaughter will be 18 next Saturday. Woo!
I have one.
Okay.
We have some here.
Oh, good.
Joan?
Yes. I work for the government and it will not shut down. The government stays open.
For 30 days at least.
The government is not shutting down for at least 30 days.
So we get paychecks.
So, so they get paychecks.
Right.
And what else?
That's it. That's
Well,
awesome.
that's big.
That's big. That's huge.
I'm celebrating that my office came to step number 3 from 0 to step number 3 out of 5 yesterday with hardly any real big, huge upset or effort. And it's you know the job. Just saying.
Just saying. Okay, awesome. We don't have small demonstrations here.
No, we don't.
You know? Okay. So join me in singing We Celebrate You to each other. Okay? We celebrate you. 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 Woo! And now we get to get up and greet each other, and please say hello to those who are online, both on Zoom and Facebook. Good morning.
Wonderful.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Phoenix. Hi, Jean.
Hi,
Barbara.
everyone. I love your picture, Paul. I always like that picture.
Yeah, his headshot.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah, I put my headshot up too. It's pretty
no, I
nice.
also
I
like
like mine.
his temple in the mountains.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, he has a temple behind him too when he
Oh,
opens
cool.
up his
Yeah,
picture.
true.
Right? It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. And Barbara's joining us today. Hi, Barbara.
Yay. Hey, Barbara. Here, I'll unmute you. There, say hi now. You're unmuted.
But
I'm going to unmute Phoenix too. So, Phoenix, you're unmuted. Just so you know.
Don't worry, I'm not doing anything you wouldn't do.
Well, just in case you want to blurt out, you know. Oh, see, look, now we're all on. Perfect.
I
Oh,
thought
I
I was
should.
talking too much earlier.
All right, thank you guys. That was so beautiful. I've been gone so long, I didn't even know we did the lighting of the flames of faith, but that's what we're doing today. Okay. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature, divine love, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the middle way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalist religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the healing candle. Please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love. Please stand. Face the screen or the center aisle. Close your eyes. Cross your hands over your heart. Take a moment to breathe in the loving intentions we have all just sent out into the world. Now open your eyes and see God looking back at you.
Hey, good morning, every day.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Reverend Diana Lee, and I'm coming to you from Pasadena. Can y'all hear me okay today?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the reading today is out of a book called Let My Soul Surrender, Grace Notes of a Journey by Ricky Byers. And this is parts called Mighty Gift of Joy. So trust the gift within, trusting in the love I know. I step with sweet faith, into the world I go. And in the day I have, let there be time enough to bring a mighty, mighty gift of joy. Move from the gift within, move from the love you know, and step with greater faith into the world you'll flow. And in the time you have, you will be strong enough to bring a mighty, mighty gift of joy. The world is calling me to come alive immediately, to share the good and do my best with all my love and tenderness. And I am learning how to give to those who need me now. And I find I need them just as much as the flowers need the sun. So trust the gift within, trust in the love you know, and move with greater faith into the world. Just go. And in the days we have, there will be time enough to bring a mighty, mighty gift of joy. Imagine the invisible spirit song spirit, that can be changed into whatever sound or message needs to be heard in a given time. The song spirit needs a human voice in order to reach its full potential, and so perches on the shoulder of a child who will carry it, perhaps unaware, everywhere she goes. Imagine the song spirit must wait for the one who carries it to find the space and wisdom to give it to her devoted attention. And it may take years, even lifetimes, for the vessel to learn to listen to the message of the song spirit, but she eventually does. And in the moment she listens, the universe begins to dance. Then, like nature, the song spirit softly breathes into the heart through the voice and into the hands of its devoted vessel. A new song creation begins to form as the vessel shapes into what it shall be. Pliable and willing, the song endures opinions and exhaustive rewritings until it is finally fully realized. It becomes a channel for the song spirit to speak to the others of the beauty and excellence that lives within them, And what and what of the song spirit? Back it goes to its favorite resting place on the shoulder of its beloved. Such is the message of a mighty gift. This is a song that sings about its own destiny. Trusting the gift within, trusting the love I know, I step with sweeter faith, into the world I go. And in the day I have, let there be time enough to bring a mighty, mighty gift of joy. Wow, she's awesome. The affirmation today is, I recycle my mighty joy. So, together, I recycle my mighty joy.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, Diana.
And here's Kevin Miller and Lawrence Israel and Joseph.
Thank you, Diana Lee. Good morning. I'm Joseph Selleck, the music director here, and this morning it's a pleasure to welcome for the first time Larry Israel and Kevin Miller. Larry has been around Santa Fe for 20 plus years. He loves to garden, cook, and bake, and reaping the bounty of those efforts. Professionally, he's a plumber and does heating and solar endeavors as well. And Kevin is a local business owner who spends his days repairing and restoring violins. He is also a singer-songwriter and he has recorded numerous CDs, and including one that has won a New Mexico Music Award. Right? And, together, Larry and Kevin have been playing together for the past year. Collectively, they go by the name 9,999. Please welcome Larry Israel and Kevin Miller.
Happy to be here. Someone, I think these songs are going to fit right in. You called me out. So I think this song is the lyrics are pretty transparent to the meaning of the song, so I won't say more about it. Call me out, you call me out, you call me out, you call. What did you want of me? Did you want, I still can't remember. What did you want of me? Did you want, I still can't recall. You call me out, you call.
are sleeping nicely, and you called me out, you called. Yes, you called me out, you called. Sleeping nicely.
Have a seat again.
Great.
Oh, wait. Come on over here. So one of the things that we help our guest musicians to understand is what it's like to receive appreciation. And we don't get into conversations and we don't do other things until, turn and face this way, everybody gets a chance to appreciate you. That's right.
Nice.
That's the everyday way.
There we go.
Now, you and I are going to be okay. I'm just going to move you over here. And then I'm just going to do that. Okay. Wow, what a beautiful beginning to a beautiful morning. And Reverend Diana Lee, the choice that you made of that Ricky Byers piece was really so incredibly perfect for as a lead-in to what I'm talking about today, because as you know, every month we start with a new theme, right? And what we're talking about is throughout the month, because the theme for the month is the giving tree. And even though you might have thought I was going to read you a children's story today, which really isn't a children's story depending on how you read it, that's not what's happening. Today we're talking about recycling ancient wisdom. And then the rest of the month we will be talking about ancient wisdom in its form as a tree, in its many forms as trees. Now, why would I be talking about recycling? Well, I'm talking about recycling for the same reason that we recycle anything, assuming that we do or can, because in some places that people live who may be watching this now or watching this later for some strange reason that will forever be beyond me, you cannot recycle. At any rate, all wisdom is recycled. Every single bit of it is recycled. You may hear what sounds like a new thought. And the person who is or was delivering that new thought at the time that they delivered it, it may have been an aha moment for the people who were hearing it. sometimes we hear the same new thought a few bazillion times, and then we finally hear it. That happens too. Because we aren't ready till we're ready.
That's right.
And so when I was meeting with the practitioners, our spiritual support team, who are very mighty and effective, and we were talking about the flames of faith in particular. And it was very important to Ernest Holmes, who founded our philosophy and wrote the book on which our philosophy is based, sort of. And I say sort of because he brought all of this wisdom from all of these teachers together in this book. And while he now, because most people don't say anything about this, while he may be credited with every book in that, every word in that book, no. He didn't write every word in that book. But in those times, plagiarism wasn't a thing. And so you could share wisdom without bothering to mention who you knew as the original spokesperson of that wisdom, whether or not they were the original spokesperson of that wisdom. You see, it gets complicated. Because as most of us are aware, oral tradition was the foundation of all communication. Every kind. Oral tradition. And oral teachings. I've been thinking about all of the implications of that and how young people learned not only by what was modeled for them, but what was shared with them by their ancestors. Because ancestors had a whole different meaning then. A whole different importance. They were the center of the family. And the wisdom that they carried from the center of their family, and from the center of the family before, and from the center of the family before, was what was passed on. Now, it's possible that here we are in, hold your breath now, 2023. Now you can release it. And our ancestors might have thought they were passing on that kind of wisdom. But most of us are not from families that were exposed to the kind of wisdom of which I speak. They were passing on somebody else's truth, not somebody else's experience. They were passing on somebody else's idea of how to stay safe in an advancing world or be successful in an advancing world, and not really talking about the importance of setting aside seeds. Whether those heirloom seeds were tomatoes or thoughts. So the conversation wasn't the same. And what's really cool, what is really cool to realize, and you get to realize it today, Are you ready? What's really cool to realize is that those ancestors were our ancestors. I'm talking about thousands of years ago. Because whether or not any family tree would go that far, and I'll tell you what, they won't. They may go back to the 17 or maybe 1600s, but that's it. Because records weren't kept. Who kept records? Things were drawn on walls to celebrate, to notate something that was going on. Things were written in hieroglyphics on parchment to notate something that was going on, but nobody kept records. Not the kind that we're accustomed to now as reference, right? As legitimization. So the stories and the techniques and the supporting behaviors of the early ancestors, and that's way too few earlies, were life-giving. They were about caring for the earth. They were about caring for each other. They were about learning the importance of kindness, about learning the importance of finding your own way and doing that. Doing what your heart called you to do. That was such a perfect song. Oh my gosh. I mean, we've all been called. You know, and that's usually considered such a heavy-duty phrase, right? You've been called. Where's Paul Petchuk in the room as the preacher when I need him? You've been called. By what? I haven't been called. Well, we're not talking about me. But, you know, I have my life and I do this and I do that and I do the other thing. I haven't been called. Oh, yeah, you have. Oh, yes, you have. And how do I know that? Because you're here. We have all been called to be here now.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
All respect to Eckhart Tolle. We've all been called to be here now, to be awake now, to be alive now, to be present now, and to bring forward all of the wisdom that has already been given. Were we to believe? Were we to believe that we already know the answer to every question we might have? Were we to believe that we already have at our fingertips the solutions, the resolutions, and the answers that we seek? You know what? Some people would think we were a smarty pants. And oh well. Because if they believed it, they'd know it too. The wisdom has been imparted through the very air we breathe. I read something this week that to me was so beautiful. In fact, it's something that I read occasionally, and I love the reminder that through the movement of air, through the movement of the universe, through the movement of the stars, all is created, all that has been created, all that exists now, and all that exists in the future. All is in constant circulation and creation all around us. We don't have starlight. We are starlight. What's that song? We are starlight, we are golden, etc.
Starlight.
Exactly. We are starlight, and we have been called, and we have what we need to do what we have been called to do. Everything. And it's not here.
Right.
In fact, here, we'll argue, as it is right now for some of you, saying, what's she talking about? I don't have everything I need. I'm a long way from having everything I need. That's not what I'm talking about. We look at the material, at the earthbound, I'm stomping my foot for people who can't see me, for evidence, for what we have. I'm sorry, you know I love you all. I don't even know you yet, and I love you already. We look at the earthbound for evidence. When are we going to learn? When are we, this isn't even something we need to learn. It's something we just, and I know it's going to sound like an oversimplification, it's something that we just need to accept. Yeah. We are the beloved children, not the only ones, everybody is. We are the beloved children of the Most High. Right. Whatever that Most High name you would use. The one life, the one power, the one presence, the one creator, the one activity of creation, the one creation itself, we are that.
Yes.
Are we all that it is? No. But it is all that we are. What's the difference? Well, the difference is that some of us still occasionally think of this one as having some kind of influence over other people's lives. Because that's how we were raised. Yeah. And of course, there's plenty of evidence that isn't the way it works. And we'll get mad, maybe, because we think it should work that way. It should especially work that way on them. But that isn't the way it works. We can't have free will and have interference at the same time.
That's right.
And nobody knew this better than the ancient ones. Because the ancient ones learned everything that they learned by observation and awareness. They were open to the reflection of what was the highest idea for taking care of this field. Well, the highest idea for taking care of this field seemed to be to turn over part of the harvest every year to keep the soil rich. That seemed to be the highest idea. And that's where the whole idea of tithing came from. But it's not a should. It's not a should. If you want your fields to flourish, it's a good idea. If you're okay, if they do whatever they do, that's your choice. It's your choice. Recycling ancient wisdom is what we do, whether we do it consciously or not. I suggest we do it consciously. I suggest that we come awake and alive in our lives so that we really notice the opportunities. We really notice the gifts. We really notice the blessings. We really notice the chances to choose better. And then choose again. Better. There's part of me that would, in my imagination, would love to go back. Would love to journey back through the generations. And I mean really back. Really back to my earth origin. And express my gratitude to those that had no idea that I would be the result of their effort, of their dedication, of their sincerity, of their love for all around them, the seen, the unseen, their respect. I would love the chance to go back and see, not to have them see me, but for me to see them. Just the generations that I know from my own experience. I know for certain that if it wasn't for my grandmother, I wouldn't be standing here. And she was the result. And someone in her life before her was the result. Maybe everybody. I don't know. All I know is that I am who I am because of all of that. Yeah. I'm not who I was because I had to become. I had to let myself become. I had to make room in my life for me to be my own self rather than someone else's idea. Someone else's limitation. Someone else's inconvenience. Someone else's who knows what. But I had to make room in my life to develop as me. Very much along the lines of the reading that Reverend Diana Lee shared with us this morning. We, each of us, as I've already said, are here for a reason. And we aren't here for a reason to be somebody else's idea.
Right. That's right.
We're here to be the highest idea that we can find in the moment of that highest idea, of possibility, of enthusiasm, of irrepressibility. Of abracadabra. Because remember, in case, oh, and by the way, in case you weren't online earlier, I asked sharing an experience in her life what the meaning of abracadabra was, and it translates to, and so it is. And so it is.
Amen, sister.
All right, again, this one seems like it's right up the avenue of that beautiful conversation that you started.
Thank you.
Golden curtain of occurrences lifts before the play. Everything is set to spiraling in a consequence of days. In the eye of this emotion, eternity stake a claim on my thought, my breath, my deed. Intention be thy name, and shining though the darkness is bewildering. There's a light on, always on, it's always on. Open palette, bright with color, to be painted on the sky. Wings of glory softly beat, and the wind softly sighs. The temple door stands open, through the heart the breath does climb. Moving thought to prayerful, sweetness made sublime, and shining though the darkness is bewildering. There's a light on, always on, it's always on. nowhere, radiance is born, gathering fineness into blessed sharp form, shining to light both the bird and the bee, and the flower in the hand, and the you, and the me, and shining, though the darkness is bewildering. Oh, there's a light on, always on, it's always on, and shining in the middle of the light on, always on, it's always on.
Yeah, it feels like those songs have a home here for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that was beautiful. Okay, let's see. Rev Ann Rea, I never said I was a set designer.
But you are, I've seen them.
Well, just because I do it doesn't make me one. So it is time now for what we call our conscious giving. And both of those words are equally important. One is conscious, so that whatever it is that we are putting into the basket, whether it is a check or an intention, a blessing for this community and the work that it does, we do it with purpose. We hold in our hearts as the baskets pass through our hands. And you know, because some of you are seated a little far apart, it isn't the basket isn't necessarily passed from one person to another, which is what I would dearly prefer. Because then what we have is a growing collective of the intentions. Not that they don't grow anyway, but it's different energetically when we pass it from one to the other. Before we say our sharing affirmation, and what I invite you to do is to not just say it by rote, but to put your hand against your heart with your offering in it, if you happen to have it with you, with whatever you are offering, your energy, your intention, your blessing, whatever you are offering to this community, and think about the ancestors. And think about realizing that putting harvest back into the soil enriched the soil. Not only are we doing that through our giving, by supporting this community and all that it does, we are doing that through our giving for ourselves. Because what I know is that every one of us is walking away with something just for them today. Just for them. Just for you. Put 10% of that back into the basket with your consciousness. Will you say with me, please, our sharing affirmation? And I'm happy to say it so that you can repeat it after me. The love of Spirit,
The love of Spirit
blesses and multiplies
blesses and multiplies
all that I am,
all that I am,
all that I have,
all that I have,
all that I give,
all that I give,
and all that I receive
and all that I receive
abundantly.
abundantly.
And so it is.